Welcome back with Tragics. Managed to get Campo here with me today. Had to do a solo run for the preview for this round, but thankfully got Campo along for the ride. So we're going to get straight into it because there was a few decent results. Campo, somewhat of a happy man, I reckon. I don't think Morty's that pleased, probably why he's a bit missing right now. He said he was keen to do it, but then went AWOL on us. So you can answer that one, Campo, if that's why. But let's get into it. It's Brentford 3 over Southampton 0. Are Southampton, first off, I just want to ask you, are Southampton lucky that it's basically wrapped up relegation in terms of they should be safe? Because give it another few weeks, they're probably going down. What do you reckon?
Yeah, they're very lucky that there are just some teams that are absolutely worse than them. Like another season, they could easily be in that bottom three with the season they've had this year. Just another poor performance where their strikers just do not shine. It's been their season. It's been their case all year. They haven't. Brozier's been in and out. Che Adams in and out. They haven't got that pure goal scorer like they did last year in Danny Ings. And they just don't take the chances they create. But on the other hand, some really good goals from Brentford this game. That Ayer gets his first goal, silky turn, and then just to score 1 minute after each other. You just can't do that in the Premier League if you're Southampton. It's very hard to come back from that.
Yeah, especially so early on in the game as well. So that's 15 minutes in and they're 2-0 down. It's basically done away from home. Brentford, with this win, takes them 43 points. Has as many points as Norwich and Watford combined. Pretty funny because Brentford finished behind them in the Championship in third spot last year. So hopefully Brentford are a stable team, not like Sheffield United last year before, where they had a good first year, then poor second year. So hopefully Brentford do steady on. But, I mean, the likes of Ericsson, they're going to obviously probably lose him. But hopefully they can recruit well with whatever money they can get for him and then just go and build a bit of stability in the Premier League because, I mean, they're not going to want to go down. The money that you do get for, staying in the Premier League should be worth it alone. So hopefully it's good that we don't see Watford and Norwich for a while and keep Brentford in because they're a good team to work with. But
they don't get money for him. I think he only signed a 1 year.
The likes of Ericsson, I think.
I think he only signed a 1 year. I don't think he's
Well. Oh yeah, true. But if they can, I don't know, maybe if they sell him before his contract's up, they might get something for him. Who knows? But even then, he's helped them stay in the Prem, I'd say, because without him, they could have probably gone down. So, yeah, I mean, it's still a good business move for him. Got him back on the map, got them on the map a little bit as well. So they'll take it. So let's get into the next game. And a team that for a little while were safe, but with this result, you could say maybe aren't as safe as we thought for a second there. Burnley lost 3-1 at home to Villa. A good result for Villa. Burnley probably could have gone to this game thinking they could get something, off the back of 3 wins, unbeaten in 4 at home. They would have liked this result to really push them out of the relegation scrap with, Burnley and Leeds. But now they're back below Leeds. Everton. What do you make of this game? Should Burnley have done better?
I think they were just outclassed by a better team. A team unlike Southampton, they have 2 quality strikers that will take their chances. They both took a chance this game, and Burnley just got their consolation. 4 unbeaten, that's good for them, but I think they were just outclassed by a better team.
So, I mean, we did say Burnley is probably the safe team out of the lot, but are they still at risk of going down? They're obviously on the same point of Leeds now, but you look at their games coming into the final. I mean, to end the season, they should be okay. It should be Leeds the ones, you think, or
I don't know. It's a funny time of the season. Everyone here is fighting tooth and nail to get any result. So we'll wait and see.
Yeah, well, looking at their fixtures, they have you guys coming up, Spurs, and they have Villa again apparently away, and then Newcastle. So they could actually lose all 3 of those if they're not careful. And then, Leeds get a result and suddenly they're ahead of them. So I think those 2, and Everton as well probably, will change hands quite a number of times in the next couple of weeks. And yeah, who knows? Burnley might not be safe after all, and the Great Escape might be off. But for Villa, it's a stable result. 2 wins in a row. Not a lot, but they need to start building. I think they need to finish the season in a comfortable way and just, kind of shore up the middle of the pack. They're not going to obviously go any higher. They're not going to really go any lower. But they just need to finish the season and then start to plan towards next season, I think. Let's get into my boys now. Chelsea 2-2 with Wolves. Yeah, I don't know what to say. We started really well. Todd Bowley, I believe his name is, the new owner. He was at the ground, looking all happy, seeing Lukaku score a couple goals. And then, to sum it up, 97th minute equaliser, just put us in the mud yet again. Terrible form we've been in recently. I think it's like 1 win in the last 6 or something. And what should have been 3rd place wrapped up weeks ago is now, might not even happen, might not even get 4th at this rate. So what did you make of this game, Campo?
I made a very big decision on that penalty. That, to me, was soft. Like, for VAR to overturn a clear and obvious error, the referee is standing there. He saw the challenge. The player hasn't moved his leg. It's just there. It's where can he go? I just don't understand how that's a clear and obvious error. The ref saw it clean. I don't understand how that's a penalty. I don't know what your thoughts are, but I thought that was very soft.
Yeah, no, I think it was a soft one. I think it can definitely go either way. I think you look at those ones, you're like, if it's not given, you're probably not blowing up too much, because if you were on the other side of it, you feel hard done by. So, yeah, it's one of those ones where, look, I'm going to take it as a Chelsea fan, but it certainly was a soft decision, like you said. But again, look, it was good to see Lukaku take the penalty with Jorginho absent, score, what was it, like literally like a minute or two later. And you think, well, that's good. Lukaku, get a couple of goals under him. If he can finish the season strong, that should bode well for next season, hopefully, getting a bit of confidence. But then, yeah, same thing again. We just fell apart towards the end of the game and really should have been a comfortable 3 points at 2-0 up going into the last 30. We now walk away with 1 point and, again, have Arsenal and Spurs chasing on our tails. So not a great result. Do you think that Chelsea will still get 3rd? Do you think we'll get 4th at worst? Like, what's your prediction there with the North London derby coming up in just a few days' time?
I think you take 3rd because it's this. We play each other. Arsenal and Tottenham play each other. That's points that you'll gain on one of us, regardless. If you win, I think you only need one more win, and you pretty much wrapped up 3rd.
Well, that would depend on how if you guys win. I don't think so, but yeah, if you guys were to lose against Arsenal, 3 points for us should all but see Champions League football. That also gives Tottenham Champions League football, which we'll get into in the preview later in the week. But yeah, look, I think that's going to be an interesting game. That's obviously going to tell the tale. I don't know who I want to win. It'd be good for the title, for the top 4 race to see you guys win, just purely to put more pressure on Arsenal and have a few more weeks worth of fighting there. But I suppose for our sake, maybe an Arsenal win. But in saying that, they also then will go ahead of us into 3rd, and to finish the season in 4th after all this time sitting in 3rd for us will be a little bit underwhelming. But we've got an FA Cup final on the weekend. Hopefully, we can get the win there, get the trophy there, and I suppose end the season, which has been bit anticlimactic considering how it started, and build with new owners, spend a whole lot of money, and see how we go from there. Let's talk about a team who officially went down on the weekend. Roy Hodgson, I think it's his first ever time getting relegated as manager against the team that had all started, I think, for Palace. I'm pretty sure obviously he was there at some point. 1-0 loss to Palace away. I think this is probably always going to happen. I didn't see Watford getting a result here. Wilfred Zaha with the lone goal penalty. What'd you make of it? Roy Hodgson, he's going to retire now. What they're thinking of getting him in was just a weird one, because I don't think he was ever going to keep him up, was he?
No, it was just a last throw at the dice. Get a Premier League manager who's proven that he can bring these bad clubs and just get him safety, keep him fighting, but a bridge too far for Watford. Palace, up and down season. They're up this game. The only reason, a handball, fair enough, but another day, it's a 0-0 draw. So plenty more for Palace to work on, but they'll take this win and just try finish mid-table.
Yeah, spot on. Watford, do you see them coming back up anytime soon, along with Norwich, or do you think they're going to sit for a little while in the Championship?
I think Foster must be pretty happy that he can actually put his GoPros in the top corners again to get some footage for YouTube. So I think the longer he's in the championship, the better. So I think he'll want to stay there for a bit.
Yeah, well, he'd be nearing retirement, that's for sure. Probably going to have a season in him. But yeah, I'm pretty keen to see his vlogs again, Matchday vlogs, that's for sure. Let's get into the comedy act of the weekend. Brighton 3-0 over Manchester United, the gift that keeps on
4-0.
giving, I suppose. What do you make of this game? Was it 4-0, sorry?
4-0.
Yes, it was 4-0. My apologies. I'm going to update that right so it looks good on the camera. There you go. Everybody can see it now. 4-0. Yeah, what do you make of this game? United just an utter disgrace at this point, or what? If they weren't already?
This is just a bad result. One I didn't see coming. None of those players that game deserve to be wearing a Man United shirt. The amount of history that club has, none of them showed any fight. Brighton just dominated that game. I just couldn't believe what I was seeing.
Yeah, I mean, it's like you said, none of them were fit to wear the jersey. I think the crowd was chanting that at one point. Bruno came out and said that we were a disgrace this game and that we apologise. We didn't play like we should be here. It sees United finish with their lowest ever points tally confirmed in a Premier League season. So I think that's probably not a good result, obviously, but that kind of shows how far off the top of the pack they are at this point. They know that this has been an absolute shambolic season. Ralph has come in and done absolutely nothing that Ole couldn't have done. So a failed appointment there. And I think at this point, they're looking forward to next season, yes, but surely you want to end the season on a high note. They've got a few players there that they need to offload, and other players who should be fighting for their positions. The only one, Ronaldo, yes, he's scoring a lot of goals, but would you say he's the only one trying? Because I don't think Bruno really cares too much at this point. He comes out and says all these things after the game, but he doesn't show too much during the game. They're benching Harry Maguire at this point. I think it's just an absolute clown fest going on there, and I'm just keen to see what Erik ten Hag does with his first few days at the club. Does he just ship off half them without, don't worry about the transfer fee, just get out of the club as soon as possible?
Well, a lot of these players are going to be cheap for good clubs to pick up. So I think there's a few bargains in there that will fit a good system. Those players do not like to press, and you brought in a manager who likes to press, high press. Those players aren't up to that standard. So Ten Hag's another pressing team. So those players will not play that system. It's going to be the same shit if they do not ship these players out and bring in new ones.
Do you think that Ten Hag will bring with him anybody from Ajax? Or do you think that now that he's at a bigger club, I suppose, he will look for the top of the crop, really, of players?
I think Donny comes back to life next season. He comes back, and I don't. It's hard because there's a lot of players that probably are good for Ajax that are just not up to Premier League standard. It's a completely different ball game, like Daley Blind, all that. They're good for a Netherlands league, but you can't put them in the Prem.
Yeah, that like for example, Donny. I think Ole, to a certain extent, did get it pretty right with Donny. Yes, he didn't get a lot of game time, but when he did, he had a game here or there that was good. But for the most part, it was pretty underwhelming. So whether Ten Hag can actually get the best out of him, it'll be his system that he's used to playing. So he should be adapting to it. But is it a case of just the Premier League just doesn't fit him? He just gets muscle off the ball or whatever it is, because he's not getting game time under Lampard either. At Everton, so that's not gone well for him there, where it was supposed to kind of rejuvenate his career. But I think maybe Ten Hag would like to bring one or two players with him. I think maybe the likes of Gravenberch, unless he's already agreed with Bayern, I'm not too sure, because I'm pretty sure they were after him heavily. So if he's still on the market, I think he'd be one. That's a holding midfield as well that they'd like to bring in, but that's not the only player. They need to obviously sign in general. They need to be signing the best of the best if they can, without Champions League, without Europa League football. If they get Europa League football at this point, they should do. But
I think they need to sign Anthony. I think he's a very underrated player. Good on his feet, good cutting in, and also Haller. He had a poor first start, but under a good system with Erik ten Hag, He's a good striker, young striker. I think he could lead that team very well.
No, that's a really good shout. Anthony, yeah, 100%. I really like him. I've liked him for a while. He's one player I'd love to see at Chelsea. Even like a Spurs, for example, like would do well. I think he's like a similar to Bergwijn, but I think we're doing a little better. He's so young that he's got plenty of time to adapt. And again, coming in with the same manager, playing the same system would only work in his favour. It's going to a new league, yes, but you're not going to a new system. Great player. He'd be good. Him and Sancho on either wing. I wouldn't say get rid of Rashford, but Rashford needs to prove himself. He needs to be put back on the bench. The likes of Jesse Lingard, he's gone. And then they've still got the likes of Alanga and stuff. On Sebastian Haller, that's a really good claim there, actually. We all know that he didn't do well with West Ham, but his Champions League was ridiculous. Eredivisie form, ridiculous. And yeah, there might be a signing that people look at and go, oh, why on earth are they signing him? Don't know how much they have to pay for him, but again, coming in with the same manager that he's been working with for a year now, why not? He's a big body. He probably is a player that United need. He reminds me of a bit of a Van Persie, even a Ruben Nistelrooy kind of S player. So bring him in. Him and Ronaldo up top would be pretty deadly. So I rate that. Yeah, we'll see what happens. Hopefully, maybe Ten Hag's been listening to you. But let's get into your boys now. It is 1-1 between you and Liverpool at Anfield. Give us your thoughts. Give us a rundown on the game.
Again, they're a better team for a reason. They had us pinned in the entire first half. Couldn't even hit them on account of the slightest bit. Morty was getting a bit frustrated watching Spurs not come out of their own end. But I try to say, how are we press this so high? They just put us into a position where we're just defending.
To get back into position, and it's that there where he actually starts to make his move and receives the ball from Hugo Lloris and then sets it up. But yeah, great work goal, I suppose, in general, counter. Much like, I suppose, the way you had to play, really. And yes, they did get a bit of a lucky break with that Luis Diaz goal. So a bit unfortunate for you guys. But do you think the draw was a fair result, or do you think that you guys probably should have been able to hold on for the win?
The draw was a fair result with the amount they pressed us, but I think we had the better of the chances. They didn't have a real clear cut. We had a few chances where we were in behind. If it was just a better pass, we were in 1-on-1. So I'll take it. I think it was a fair result. We'll both take a point. We crushed their hopes and we move forward.
Yeah, well, I mean, you certainly did cross their hopes. You see the way Klopp come out after the game, a bit of an excuse merchant there, saying the likes of, yes, you just play 5 at the back, you go up a goal, and then that's it. You park the bus. But surely he had to know that was what's going to happen. Teams go to Anfield and park the bus. It happens. And I think the fact that Liverpool couldn't break you guys down or didn't, their approach wasn't quite spot on there, shows that you guys, again, got it right. Conte got it right. Why else would he do anything different? I mean, yes, Conte would have liked the win, but I think a point's not the worst result. It still leaves it, I wouldn't say in your hands, but with the North London derby to come, you win that game and suddenly you're right there with Arsenal again. So it's not the worst result. You've effectively stopped Liverpool from winning the league just about. It's not just done yet, but it should be all but wrapped up. So Conte, praise to him, got the game plan pretty much spot on. On another day, probably would have got the win. But yeah, I mean, I think Jurgen, I wouldn't say he's missed a boat here, but he should have got more out of the game if he's going to come out with those claims that, you just play 5 at the back and that's it, you park the bus. So should have done better, but fair result in the end for sure.
Do you think that if Salah was English, he'd be copping a lot more heat than what he actually is? Because he was so bad that game. All his passes, his dribbling, his first touch, his shots, none of them worked. He's just been so poor recently. And I feel like if that's Harry Kane, he is copping media attention everywhere.
Yeah, well, you look at the media attention Harry Kane caught when he wasn't scoring goals. And I know, again, still pretty underwhelming season. What is it, like 10 goals for the season? Not great. And Salah does have 22. But I would like to know, how many of those goals Salah actually worked himself, whereas Kane, I think, worked a lot of his goals himself, if not great team play, whereas I think Salah finishes them off. I'm not taking any credit away from his goals, but yeah, I think that he's been pretty average recently. Not sure what's going on with his form, but yeah, I think he kind of does fall under the radar a little bit because he's already put himself in such a good position on the goal tally that he's not going to cop any scrutiny. So yeah, average performance from him for sure. And again, someone I think that can he change the game in a moment's instance? Yes, but does he really help a team overall? If they're playing bad, not really. I think that he plays well when the team plays well. So, I mean, 22 goals for the season. I can't take too much away from him, but he has been poor, and he probably should be copying a bit more slack recently because Luis Diaz is performing up to scratch. Mane here and there, but yeah, I think it's Luis Diaz there, the main one that's kind of really taken the front three in his wings there. So yeah, Salah needs to start performing, that's for sure, and he's got a Champions League final to prove it soon. To get his revenge. Let's move into West Ham 4-0 over Norwich. We're not going to probably talk about this game for too long because Norwich are down. You knew this result was going to happen. The thing I just want to mention here is Jarrod Bowen, 10 goals, 10 assists for the season. I think he's like one of like 4 or 5 players to do that, hit double digits in both goals and assists. Harry Kane's obviously done it as well, I believe. What do you make of this? Jarrod Bowen, should he be starting for England? Should he be in the? He should be going to the World Cup at least, yeah.
He has to be in the squad. He's probably the best right winger for England at the moment. I don't know who else can compete with that. His current form. But again, this game was just against Norwich. They're down. They have nothing to play for. They're just turning up and getting walloped every week.
Is it not a bit of pride for them to not finish bottom? Like, they can still jump Watford here and finish 19th, and obviously it would be a poor season, but maybe they're just not good enough. That's, I think, really all it is. West Ham are good. They're coming off the back of an unfortunate Europa League exit where they would have liked to see make the final, but this is them all but wrapping up Conference League, I believe. I know they're only 2 points ahead of Wolves if Wolves win their game in hand, but this should be Conference League for next year, and who knows, another European run. They'd take a Conference League trophy, that's for sure. So can't quite get the Europa League, but will take the Conference League, I think, for them. Unless, of course, they jump Man United because they do have a game in hand and they're 3 points behind with better goal difference. So could happen, that's for sure. And that'd be pretty bloody funny to see because United probably deserve that. I think United don't deserve to even be in Europa League football. So bring that on. Hopefully West Ham can finish the season strong. All right, relegation talk yet again. Leicester 1, Everton 2. Massive result for Everton, yeah? What are your thoughts?
I couldn't believe it. Everton, so poor all season, and now they're actually starting to show a bit of grit to their performances. They might not have the ball the entire game, but they're just digging in for each other, especially with that Richarlison too. That's what impressed me the most. I thought they really struggle. But again, under Lampard, actually showing some fight for him, digging in deep and getting those 3 points when it matters.
Yeah. I mean, you look at the goal scorers, Malenko and Mason Holgate, both defenders. But at the end of the day, it doesn't matter who the goals come from. 3 points is what matters. I think, they were coming off the back of this is their second win all season away from home in 18 games, something like that. So they've not been great away from home. So you probably didn't expect them to get anything here just based on their form. But I think right now they've got a sudden second wind about them. I think their fans are really rallying behind the team. And even there, you saw the away fans at this game. They were absolutely packed out that away end. And they're really just getting behind the team. That's a big club at the end of the day. They've got a massive fan base and they're just making sure their team doesn't go down. So if anything, obviously they've got to win the points on the pitch, but the 12th man is helping them all along the way. But, a lot must be said about Jordan Pickford in net. Saved him yet again. Saved him against Chelsea, saved him against Leicester. And again, 6 points in 2 games. Massive results there. And they're not out of it yet, that's for sure. We can't say they're staying up, but they're now in the better position. They've gotten through that rough period there that we all thought was the worst run-in for the bottom 3 for those teams fighting relegation. But yeah, they're almost home. 3 more points, I think that's them home, and it'll be good to see from my perspective for Lampard. But we'll know Morty probably be pretty pissed off. But,
do you think
we'll hopefully see Burnley or Leeds down to that now? Point. I do actually, just because Ramsdale was great to start the season, but what's Ramsdale done recently? He's had a couple average games at really. I can even recall the 6 goals he conceded against Chelsea was pretty bad. Some games he hasn't had a lot to do, which is credit to Arsenal's defence. But yeah, Pickford, he's playing for that jersey again. It's the perfect time. If he can finish this season strong, somehow start next season strong, he's on the plane to Qatar, and he's starting keeper yet again. So Ramsdale needs to, I think, kick up a gear. What do you reckon? Do you think Pickford's number one, or do you think Ramsdale?
I think Southgate's very loyal. So I think Pickford will get first crack regardless. I think Ramsdale will play like a game that isn't important. Hopefully England win the first two, and then he'll chuck Ramsdale in for the third game. But I think Pickford gets first nod.
Yeah, no, you are right there that Southgate is quite a loyal manager, which is why I'll obviously stick with Harry Maguire at the back as well. Let's get into, again, keep on this relegation fight. Happened this morning as well. Leeds going down 2-1 to Arsenal. Melier with a massive goalkeeper blunder, which you just can't afford to happen in a relegation dogfight. I mean, it set Arsenal on their way to 3 points, and that was it, unfortunately. A red card for Luke Ayling. It was overturned. There was just yellow at first, but I mean, Eddie Nikita played for Leeds at one point on the loan, and he's just all but sent them down, in my opinion. What do you make of it?
Shocking from Leeds. The manner of those two goals happened, terrible. And then that 2-foot studs up challenge, awful. You got to be. Ayling's a very experienced player. He should be doing so much better there. But credit to Leeds, 10 men against a better team, still found a way to score, but just a bit too much to climb.
And now with Leeds, I'm just looking at their run in now. They've got Chelsea next week. Who knows, they could get a result against us. Then they've got Brighton, and then they finish off with Brentford away from home. And again, Brentford are in good form. Is Leeds the favourite to go down, would you say?
Yes, they're the favourites.
Yeah, I do. I think that I don't know. I can't see them getting a result against us purely because I think we've been crap and we need to turn it around. Brighton, they want to finish the season strong. They've been brilliant this year. They want to finish even 8th if they can. And then Brentford, they may get a draw against them, but it's not going to be enough at that point, unfortunately, for Leeds. And it kind of sucks because Jesse Marsh came in and really transformed the club a little bit, got them out of the rut that they were in by Bielsa, and then all of a sudden they're back in it. And I think it was just a task too far for him. He's not going to get sacked. I can't see him getting sacked. He's going to rebuild, and they could be one of the teams that come straight back up if they can keep most of their players. Calvin Phillips, do you think he will stay though?
No,
pretty great player.
He's too good.
Yeah, I mean, loyalty is a good thing, but when a United, for example, comes calling, and you're back in the Championship when you're definitely a Premier League quality player, you're probably not going to turn it down. Let's wrap up the pod with the biggest result of the round, probably the most expected result as well. Man City 5 over Newcastle 0. I mean, it was a training ground run for City. It's all but given them the title. They're 3 points clear, top of the table again. They're not done, but they're thereabouts. They got knocked out of the Champions League midweek in the semi-final. So, of course, they went and battered Newcastle on the weekend. What were your thoughts?
It was just pretty much a statement saying, yeah, we bottled it, but we're not bottling this one. Liverpool slipped up and they put their foot on Newcastle's throat and they just crushed them. Just statements to City, they're just the best Premier League team. They're just the most consistent team throughout the whole season.
Yep. I'm just looking at their previous results now. I think it was probably only about 3 weeks ago, where they had a far less goal difference compared to Liverpool. And in those games, since playing that 2-2 draw with Liverpool, they've clawed that back, and now they're 4 goals ahead of them in goal difference. So if it had gone down to it, City they've done it on goal difference. They won 5-1 against Watford, 4-0 against Leeds, 3-0 Brighton, and then 5-0 Newcastle. I mean, they've just scored however many goals it is there in 4 games. And that's, again, that was Liverpool's kind of point there, is can we take it to the final day and just do them on goal difference? But no, it's not going to happen now. City, everything's in their favour at this point. They've got everything to lose, yes, but they should comfortably win these games. They've got nothing else to play for. All focus on the league, and that should be that wrapped up. They don't have too many hard games left, if any, really. And bar a complete calamity mess up, they should be home. Well, that's going to wrap us up. We'll just hit 30-minute mark. So thanks for joining me, Campo. And we'll see you again for the preview. We've got a North London derby coming up.
Can't
Whether
wait.
we can get you on for that, hopefully we can. But anyway, if you know, can I get a quick prediction then, just now?
5-0 Spurs. They're fucking shit.
Lovely. I'm coming. All right. Thanks for joining me, Campo, and we'll see you again next time.